Setagaya, Tokyo, Japan, is quiet on the night of December 30th, 2000. A family of 4 is inside their home. There are no signs of disturbance outside, no reports of forced entry. But inside the house, the timeline shifts rapidly. By morning, all 4 family members are found dead. The attacker leaves behind evidence throughout the home. Food is consumed, items are used, time is spent inside after the crime, and the sequence of actions suggests the killer did not leave immediately. The house belongs to the Miyazawa family. The residence is located in a quiet residential block in Setagaya. The area shows no history of violent crime in recent years. The family consists of a working father, a mother, and 2 young sons. They live a routine domestic life inside the home. There are no reports of conflict, threats, or unusual activity prior to the incident. The house layout is compact, with narrow corridors and closely connected rooms. Windows face the surrounding residential area, with limited external visibility at night. The entrance shows no immediate signs of forced access. Locks and entry points appear intact from the outside. The neighborhood remains undisturbed during the night. No witnesses report suspicious movement or sound. Inside the home, daily items remain in their expected positions. Furniture arrangement reflects normal use prior to the event. The environment suggests the family was present and settled indoors. There is no indication of preparation for departure or travel. Everything inside the house suggests the timeline begins without disruption. The final confirmed timeline begins inside the house on the evening of December 30th. The family is indoors as night settles across the neighborhood. There are no external disturbances recorded during this period. No emergency calls are made from the residence. No neighbors report unusual sounds or activity. The sequence suggests normal domestic presence continues into the night. At some point, the attacker gains access to the house. There is no immediate indication of forced entry at the access point. This suggests entry may have occurred through an unlocked route or controlled access. The attacker's arrival does not trigger any known external alert. Inside, movement begins without drawing attention beyond the walls. The confined layout of the house limits visibility between rooms. This creates separation between areas within the same structure. The timeline begins to compress as events unfold rapidly indoors. There is no evidence of the family attempting to leave the house. No indication of escape or external movement is recorded. Everything remains contained within the structure. The incident unfolds entirely inside the home. The attacker's movement inside the house becomes direct and controlled. The confined layout limits escape paths between rooms. The sequence of events begins in one section of the house. The first point of contact occurs without external interruption. There is no evidence of alarms or alerts being triggered. The attacker continues moving through the interior space. Each movement remains contained within the structure. The layout forces close proximity between occupants and attacker. The timeline compresses further as actions occur in succession. There is no indication of interruption once the sequence begins. The attacker navigates the narrow rooms without delay. The structure of the house prevents visibility from outside. This isolates the incident entirely within the interior. There are no signs of intervention from neighbors or passers-by. The sequence continues without any external awareness. The attacker maintains presence across multiple areas of the house. The movement suggests familiarity with confined indoor space. The entire event remains enclosed within the residence. By morning, the house is no longer in its original state. The discovery begins when contact with the family fails. The absence of response triggers concern. Entry into the house reveals the outcome of the night. All 4 family members are located inside the residence. Their positions confirm the events remained contained indoors. There is no indication that anyone exited after the sequence began. The structure of the house remains unchanged from the outside. Inside, the arrangement of space reflects the completed sequence. Objects within the home show signs of continued use after the initial event. The attacker's presence extends beyond the moment of the incident. Time is spent inside the house after the sequence is completed. This is not a rapid exit scenario. Movement continues within the interior after the event concludes. The environment shows layered activity rather than a single moment. The timeline expands instead of ending at the point of attack. The house becomes both the location of the incident and the extended timeline. Everything remains contained within the same structure. The investigation begins with a detailed examination of the interior. Every room is processed as part of a continuous sequence. There is no separation between crime scene and extended activity area. The entire house becomes a single investigative space. Evidence is recovered from multiple locations inside the residence. Objects show clear signs of handling after the initial event. Food items are found consumed within the house. This confirms the attacker remained inside for a period of time. The sequence includes actions unrelated to the initial attack. This extends the timeline beyond a single incident window. Personal items within the home are used during this period. The behavior indicates familiarity or comfort within the space. The attacker does not move quickly through the environment. Instead, time is spent navigating and using different areas. The confined layout allows reconstruction of movement patterns. Paths between rooms begin to form a clear sequence. Each section of the house contributes to the timeline. The investigation reveals a prolonged presence rather than immediate exit. The house itself becomes the primary record of the event. The evidence collected from the house introduces multiple contradictions. The attacker leaves behind a significant amount of trace material. Personal items not belonging to the family are recovered inside the home. Clothing, biological traces, and objects suggest a clear physical presence. Despite this, identification remains incomplete. The sequence of actions inside the house appears deliberate. There is no indication of panic or rushed movement. Food consumption suggests a level of composure after the event. This behavior does not align with a typical immediate escape. The attacker moves through the house as if time is not a constraint. Evidence suggests familiarity with indoor navigation. At the same time, certain elements appear inconsistent with prior planning. The combination of control and irregularity create conflicting profiles. The attacker leaves behind both useful and misleading traces. This complicates attempts to construct a single clear narrative. Each piece of evidence contributes, but does not fully resolve identity. The timeline is detailed, but the individual remains unknown. The case remains open despite the volume of recovered information. The case remains unresolved despite the volume of collected evidence. The house provides a detailed record of actions taken during the event. The timeline inside the residence is largely reconstructed. The sequence of movement, activity, and presence is clearly established. Yet the identity of the attacker is not confirmed. The collected evidence does not produce a definitive match. This creates a gap between what is known and who is responsible. The behavior inside the house remains highly unusual. The duration of presence after the event is a critical factor. The attacker operates within the space without interruption. No external detection occurs during or after the sequence. The surrounding environment remains unaware throughout the event. The investigation continues over time without resolution. The house remains central to the case as a complete record. Every detail inside contributes to understanding the sequence, but the individual behind the actions remains unidentified. The case continues as an unresolved investigation.